Welcome to the channel and welcome to Banter in the Box episode 3, the third and final part of our annual Meet the Managers special. So we've already met the also-rans in part 1, the dark horses in part 2, and in this part we will meet the title contenders, the top 9 ranked managers in the Family Fantasy Football League this season. And I'll also be sharing the latest manager of the season table and setting this week's quiz question. So, without no further ado, the 9th best ranked manager is Legends 23 manager Nikki the Carry On One Saunders. 4 previous seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League. Nikki knows what she's doing now. No major honours in the previous 4 years, but Nikki did get the most weekly wins back in 2018, and she has won an impressive 3 Manager of the Month awards in her 4 previous seasons, and that's one of the reasons why she's ranked as high as 9th in the Family Fantasy Football League. Now, for those of you that didn't see parts 1 and part 2, shame on you if you haven't, but all of the managers are getting a Jose Mourinho style label this season, inspired by the Creed Bratton Society's Jordan Williams, who always likes to give himself a label. So Nikki the Carry On One Saunders. Why the Carry On One? Well, some of you will know, but some of you won't know that Nikki Saunders is a nurse. She's a very specialist kind of nurse. She extracts objects from people's backsides. True story. She has some wicked stories that she can tell you if you haven't heard them. But Nikki also has a Barbara Windsor style nurse's outfit, not the horrible brown one she wears for work, but a top quality sexy one. She's been promising to wear for me, model for me, for about 20 years, and I have it on a good authority that Nikki will indeed wear the Barbara Windsor style nurse's outfit if she ever wins the Family Fantasy Football League. Fingers crossed. So that's why Nikki is the Carry On One. And I should say Nikki's highest ever finish is 5th last season. Last season was her best season so far. The 8th best manager in the Family Fantasy Football League is a true FFFL legend, Sashama's FC manager Wayne the Inventing One Robinson. 19 previous seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League, celebrating 20 years in the competition this year, and he's won plenty. 3 times champion in 2000, 2006 and 2007. He was the FFFL Cup runner-up in 2017. He got the most weekly wins in 2006, 2007 and 2011, and he's won 3 Manager of the Month awards. Now, why the Inventing One? Well, some of you won't be aware that Wayne likes inventing. He invented, his biggest invention was definitely plier taps, and it amazes me that they never caught on. But basically, Wayne didn't used to have traditional taps in his bathroom. He had pliers that you would turn the water, twist to turn the water on and on. Not as convenient as traditional taps, but different. Certainly. Amazed they never caught on. So Wayne is the Inventing One. The 7th best manager in the Family Fantasy Football League, Hatch United's Neil the Chauffeur One Hatch. 20 previous seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League for Neil. Major honours, well, he's another 3 times champion. 1998, which was only 2nd season in the competition that year. 2005, and more recently in 2018. He's also been the league runner-up on 2 occasions, in 2001 and 2003. And he was an FFFL Cup runner-up in 2005. Neil's never won the Cup. That was a bit of a surprise. Golden Boot winner 5 times, which is a record. 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 4 consecutive seasons as a Golden Boot winner, and more recently in 2018. He also got the most weekly wins in 2003 and 2005, set the highest weekly total in 2015, and he has 5 Manager of the Month awards, which from memory I think is the 3rd highest number of Manager of the Month awards. And why is Neil the chauffeur one? Well, it's because Neil has a very important role in the Family Fantasy Football League. Well, very important to the number 1 rated manager Steve Holmes anyway, because Neil is Steve's chauffeur. Brings him to the presentation awards every season, hence the chauffeur one. 6th, and our highest placed female in the Family Fantasy Football League, Poppy's Players Manager Sarah, the horse riding one, Simons. 1 previous season in the Family Fantasy Football League, 1 full season I should say, in the Family Fantasy Football League, debut season last season, or full debut season last season, and what a season it was. Sarah won the Family Fantasy Football League Cup in her first season, and she also picked up a Manager of the Month award and finished 6th. So that was a really good full debut season for Sarah. I say full debut season because in the season before last, Sarah took over her late husband Paul's team and took that team all the way to the Family Fantasy Football League Cup final in 2019. Unfortunately, she lost that final, but when she re-entered, and I was really glad she did re-enter in her own right last season as a debut manager, she had a really impressive season. Highest placed lady in the competition. Definitely one to be scared of for the old guard that are used to having things their own way. And that why the horse riding one? Well, very simple. Poppy's Players is inspired by the name of Sarah's horse, Poppy, who she rides on a regular basis. Now, this is a true Family Fantasy Football League legend. The 5th best manager in the Family Fantasy Football League has been a number 1 rated manager in the past, Mark the Overworked One Benwell. One of only 5 managers to compete in every single season of the Family Fantasy Football League, and of those 5 managers, definitely the most successful. Won the first 2 Family Fantasy Football League titles in 1996 and 1997. Sure, back then he thought he was going to dominate forever. Who knew in 1997 that would be the last time he won the league? He's come close since then, runner-up in 1999, 2012 and 2013. He was a cup winner in 97, that was the year he done the league and cup double, and in 2011. And he's been a cup runner-up on 3 occasions in 1999, 2000 and 2012. In terms of secondary honours, well, he got the most weekly wins in 96, 2002, 2011 and 2013. He set the highest weekly total in 96, 2002, 2013 and 2019. And Marcus had 3 Manager of the Month awards in his time in the Family Fantasy Football League. And he was also the first ever Manager of the Season winner last season, and that won him a free tactical gambit to use this season. It's already been an eventful season for Mark. He's entered 3 invalid teams already. And why is he the overworked one? Well, simply because he is overworked. Desperate to retire, or at least reduce his hours. Donna won't let him. He really needs to slow down. And he is the overworked one. Not just because he's worked all his life, long hours, not just one day a week, Donna, but also because he does all the housework as well. And all the gardening, does it all, cooks. He is the full package, ladies, just in case he ever comes on the market. 4th best manager in the Family Fantasy Football League, the Creed Bratton Society's Jordan, the non-binary one, Williams. 3 previous seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League, And it's fair to say Jordan's made a bit of a splash since joining the Family Fantasy Football League. He was the runner-up in 2019, but in his first 2 seasons in the competition, he won the Cup in both seasons, 2018, 2019. Came close to doing the double in 2019. In terms of secondary honours, he was the Golden Boot winner in 2019, and he scored the most weekly wins in 2019 as well. That was one hell of a season for Jordan. And he's won an impressive 4 Manager of the Month awards in those 3 seasons. And last year he was the second best manager in the Family Fantasy Football League at the beginning of last season. But he had his first season where he won absolutely nothing last season and finished the lowly 12th, I think, from memory. And that meant he dropped a couple of places this season to become the 4th best manager. Why is he the non-binary one? Well, apparently he is. To be honest, I don't really know what it means. He's also a women's rights activist. Don't know why. I get all my information about Jordan from his best mate Alexi, so it must be true because Alexi would never lie to me. So there we go. Jordan Williams. Will he get back on track and get back to winning ways? Who knows? The 3rd best manager in the Family Fantasy Football League is Alexi, the not classically good looking one, Lagos. There he is, pictured from his former sock modelling days. 8 previous seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League. He was a champion in 2014 and then followed that up by being runner-up in 2015. No success in the Cup yet for Alexi in those 8 seasons. Secondary honours, well, he was the Golden Boot winner in 2016. He got the most weekly wins that season as well. He set the highest weekly total in 2014, and he's had 2 Manager of the Month awards. So fair to say all of Alexi's success was kind of compressed into 3 seasons, and he hasn't done much in the recent past. Why not classically good looking? Well, because believe it or not, that is how Megan described Alexi to me and her mum after she went on her first date with him, and we weren't sure what to expect. I call him Sexy Alexi for a reason, but you know, Megan's got very high standards. But they are still together 10 years later, so maybe Megan doesn't find him classically good looking, but there must be a lot about him that she likes. And who could be surprised with that? So there he is, Alexi Lagos, the 3rd best manager in the Family Fantasy Football League. And the 2nd best manager in the Family Fantasy Football League is Thames Ironworks FC's manager Darren the Towie Extra One Ravel. 18 previous seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League. He was a champion in 2009 and 2019, so doesn't expect to win it again until 2029. League runner-up in the very first season in 1996, and then last season he was runner-up. Came close to retaining his title, but not close enough. He was the Cup winner in 1996, the first ever season, went close to doing the double that season, and he was an FFFL Cup runner-up back in 2004. In terms of secondary honours, well, a Golden Boot winner in 98, 06, 09 and 2017. He set the most weekly wins in 1999 and 2009, and he set the highest weekly total in 1999, 2017 and last season, 2020. And he has the 2nd highest number of Manager of the Month awards with 6. And why is Darren the Towie Extra One? Well, some of you may not be aware that Darren lives in Towie country in Brentwood, where Towie is filmed, and he always hangs outside of the nightclubs where Towie is filmed in his Magnum PI outfit, hoping to get on screen. So that's why he's the Towie Extra One. And then we have the number 1 rated manager in the Family Fantasy Football League, Arden Diamonds, managed by Steve the Chauffeured One Holmes. He's been the number 1 rated manager in the Family Fantasy Football League for absolutely ages. 20 previous seasons, and well, the honours go on and on and on. The only manager to win the league on 4 occasions in 2003, 2008, 2011 and 2020. He's the current league champion. He was also runner-up in 2002 and 2016. He's won the Cup twice, 2007 and 2013. So, one of only 2 managers to win 6 trophies in the Family Fantasy Football League, the other one being me. He was the FFFL Cup runner-up in 2008, and in terms of secondary honours, a Golden Boot winner in 07, 2011 and 2013. He set the most weekly wins in 2008, 2011, 2012 and 2015, and he set the highest weekly total in 2012 and 2018. And he holds the record for the most Manager of the Month awards. 8 times Steve has been Manager of the Month. The current champion. And why is he the chauffeured one? Well, obvious reasons. The same reason that Neil is the chauffeur one, because Steve is chauffeured everywhere by Neil Hatch, and that is why he is the chauffeured one. Will he win a 5th Family Fantasy Football League title? Well, I hope not, but who knows. Manager of the season table, and there was no changes, so it's still Neil Hatch, Mark Benwell and Lee Poulter leading the way on 4 Manager of the Season points. And there were no Manager of the Season points scored this week because nobody got last week's quiz question correct. Who the fuck is that? It's a Family Fantasy Football League manager, and we had 2 guesses. I've got a life manager, Mops Hoxby, thought that was a picture of yours truly, which was incorrect, Mum. Can't believe you don't recognise your own son, or rather don't recognise when it's not your own son. And Neil Hatch was bidding to go top of the Manager of the Season table. He thought that that was a picture of Sashama's FC manager Wayne Robinson. Sorry, Neil, that was an incorrect guess. But it is a picture of a Family Fantasy Football League manager that's competing in the league this season. So having ruled those 2 managers out, myself and Wayne Robinson, you now have a 1 in 26 chance of getting it right. And it's going to be worth, as it's rolled over, it's going to be worth 2 Manager of the Season points. Just a reminder before we say goodbye, the deadline for entering your teams is 9 p.m. on Thursday, the 10th of September. So this coming Thursday, your team has to be in by 9 p.m. on the dot. 9 p.m. and 1 second is too late. And if you want your team checked before that deadline, you need to enter your team by Sunday the 6th. So as I'm filming this, that's tomorrow, because FFL HQ is closed between the 7th and the 11th. So if you enter your team after the 6th, I won't check it till I get back on the 11th. The deadline would have passed by then. If you happen to miss the 9 p.m. deadline on Thursday, or you enter a team but it turns out to be invalid, then you will either be allocated a team as per the rules if you fail to enter it by 9 p.m. on Thursday, or if you enter a team that's invalid, it will be made valid as detailed in the rules, and those rules have been sent out on numerous occasions, but it's all detailed in there what happens in the event of you failing to enter a team by the deadline or entering an invalid team. There is no need to wait until the last second. You can change your team as often as you like up until 9 p.m. on Thursday the 10th of September without penalty. So best get a team in, and then if you decide you want to tweak it or change it, you can do. 15 managers so far have entered the team, so 13 managers still haven't. And there will probably be a player update at some point, either today or tomorrow, maybe both days, but there will not be any more updates after the 6th of September before the 11th. So no new players will be available for selection for the start of the season after the 6th of September. No new players will be added next week. If any new players join the Premier League between the 7th and the 10th, you won't be able, none of you will be able, and none of you, including myself, will be able to select those new players before the season starts. You'll have to wait if you want any of them and transfer them in after the 11th of September. So that concludes the Meet the Managers special series. You've met all of the managers over the last 3 parts. You now know your enemy. Next week will be a stats special. We do those every year. It's only for those of you, those of real FFFL geeks amongst you that love analysing all of the data. So probably the people in the top 9. But yeah, obviously I'll reveal everybody's teams on the 11th of September, and next week I'll be doing a stat special, just going over all of those teams, formations, most popular picked players, etc. So until then, have a good week. See you later.